Right, so I'm elbow deep in a Ninja again, basically trying to get the cam chain tensioner out. What's happened possibly is that the cam chain tensioner is either overextended or it's just over tight. In the clip I'll insert, you can hear a whine, but there's also like a ticky knot kind of sound. I'm trying to determine what's actually causing that. You can just about see the tensioner right there, but the wiring loom actually comes right in the way of it. So the only way to really free up some extra room is to remove the throttle body, so I can move the wiring loom that runs down there and across here out of the way, so I can get proper access. But it doesn't look like that is going to happen. So we've got to figure out a workaround. So if we come down here, we've got a little bit of space, but you can't really get on the tensioner under there, so it's not really workable to go from that way. So I've got to figure out another way of getting in there. But I'm going to try and get that tensioner out, and then I'll show you guys what the tensioner comprises of, and see whether there's anything wrong with it. Right, so I've brought you outside just to have a quick go through in the daylight of what this tensioner comprises of. So you've got the tension bolt there. This spring and rod sit inside the tensioner body. The tensioner itself has this ratchet system, and to reset it you have this little tab here that you just push on, and you can push that back. So this little rod is its fixed point. When it's fully extended, that's what it relies on. Until then, you have this spring that applies tension to it to keep notching the tensioner out as far as it needs to go as the chain stretches over time. So you would reinstall this with these sat inside, and then you would reinstall the tension nut, and it will automatically tension itself to the required tension. The other way of doing it is you just install this as it is, being cautious of that O-ring, and then if you've got space to slide these in after, you can do that, and then add the tension bolt. The way I'm going to do it, I'm going to put these in, put the tensioner back in, then apply the tension bolt, and hope that that sort of helps. I don't know whether it is the tensioner on my bike, but I'm just making this video so anyone that's curious about the tensioner, there's 1,000,001 tensioner videos on there. So I'm going to reset this, which it already is, clean it up and refit it, and hope that my noise goes away. This could work for you too, so why not give it a go? It's quick, it's easy. It's easier if your throttle bodies actually come out, but it's not a bad job to do, and as long as you're fairly confident with a spanner, anyone can do it. One thing I will say though is watch out for this little pressure spring that sits within the ratchet, because that on this one was trying to eject itself. You don't want to lose that, and you don't want it to go into your engine especially, so it's worth making sure that you just reseat that when you do this job, just in case it's trying to ping out like mine was. Mine was pretty much sat right on the edge of that there, and could have very easily popped out. So definitely well worth just checking that before you reinstall. So one thing when reinstalling the tensioner is obviously it doesn't say which side is up. So if you look at the bolt pattern, the bolts are actually staggered, one's further away than the other. The closest bolt hole to the actual main bolt hole is up, so it sits that way, if that helps. If you're like me and didn't necessarily pay any attention when removing it, just make sure you put it in the right way first time, because it can be annoying trying to get this thing in and out. of that tiny hole in there. So you can sort of see down the back there the hole that it sits in. Now obviously if the throttle bodies weren't in the way, it would be a lot easier. So we've got the tensioner reinstalled, and like this it sounds absolutely fine and it strikes up without a problem. But the caveat to that is the fact that it still makes the noise. So right now I have absolutely no idea what is wrong with this bike. It makes absolutely no sense. The only thing I can think is whether it's oil grade related, and using a lesser grade of oil has actually caused an issue. It strikes up on the button every time, runs fine when it's running, apart from when it's cold it cuts out, but it's always done that. Yeah, it's a strange knock that seemingly won't go away, but I'm struggling to believe it's rod knock with how good it runs. Interesting. Right, so not ideal. The noise is still there. I'm not sure what could be causing the noise. Normally when engines make those kind of noises, it's not good, but it is what it is. It's done 8,500 miles in my ownership. It's been spot on for the time I've had it. I only paid around £1,500 for this bike, so a ZX6R for that's a pretty good buy. And it did its work. It rode all the way through winter as well. It's a shame I've just spent a lot more money on fork stanchions and stuff like that, coil packs, but it is what it is. I can't be mad at the bike. So I wonder what it could be. It could be rod knock, it could be anything, but it sounds more like it's from the top end than the bottom end, which is the thing that's throwing me out. I'm wondering if it could potentially be to do with the quality of oil used, because I did do an oil change on it a bit ago, a few days before this actually. No oil pressure lights or anything like that, but maybe it could be something stupid, like it just doesn't like the quality of the oil that I've used, because it wasn't great, I'm not gonna lie, and that's on me. If it's damaged the engine, that's on me. So I can't be mad at the bike, it's been great. I may come up with a solution to this problem, I may not. I'm going to keep digging into it, but I just thought I'd share that little bit about the cam chain tensioners. You guys might find it useful. I'll see you in the next one.